We begin tonight with Make It Count election coverage. Good evening and happy election day. The polls across the country are closing and the new balance of power is beginning to take shape.
We'll be here throughout the night bringing you election results and reaction and letting your voice be heard. We have every angle covered for you tonight, from the process used to count your ballots to Idaho's concern about voter fraud and one of the races to watch nationwide, the Senate seat battle between Patty Murray and Dino Rossi. KXLY4's Kalae Chock begins our in-depth coverage from election headquarters in Spokane County. Kalae.
Yeah, Robyn, we're at the lobby right now of the election office, and it's pretty busy right now. County Auditor Vicki Dalton tells me, in fact, that it's been packed all day with people coming in to get a replacement ballot. Typically, they change their name or they move, forget to tell the elections office that they've done so they need to come in to get their ballots and pick them up. In fact, Vicki Dalton tells me that this is a sign of how important this election is to everyone. She calls it a studied election, that people typically want to get involved, know what's going on in Spokane, and cast their vote. Now, right now, behind these walls, 109,000 ballots are being counted by election officials. That's a 55.3% return. They're hoping for a 67% return, and they're thinking that that's likely, considering several ballots will be coming in over the next couple of days through the mail. Now, the elections office closes at 8 o'clock tonight. The drop boxes, there are 19 of them placed throughout the county. Those all close at 8 o'clock tonight. And if you're going to mail your ballot, make sure it's postmarked by today or it doesn't count. Live at the elections office, Kalae Chock, KXLY4 HD News.
Kalae, thank you. The eyes of the nation will be on Washington when the polls close at 8 o'clock, as Democratic incumbent Patty Murray could lose the seat she's held for 18 years.
Senator Murray and challenger Dino Rossi made one last campaign swing today in one of the most closely watched races in the nation. Both state parties have attorneys on standby who have experience working with recounts, as many expect this vote will go down to the wire. Because the race is so tight, it could be the end of the weekend before we have a clear winner.
Vote totals will be streaming through 4 Associated Press election centers across the country, then released to all of us. The largest of those 4 regional centers is in the Student Union at Eastern Washington University. Vote totals from 20 states will be called into clerks there, who will enter the numbers that are sent out to media outlets across the country. And
there is so much excitement and so much to talk about this election night. And we don't want to do all the talking. We want you to join the conversation.
KXLY4's Colleen O'Brien is live in our newsroom with how you can join that conversation. Colleen?
And after KXLY4 HD News at 6, you can continue KXLY coverage online, KXLY.com. That's where we have everything from local elections to national elections, and a way for you to ask questions. We're going to have Dr. Michael Leroy here all evening from Whitworth University. And go to this page, KXLY.com. Right at the top, there's a Make It Count banner. Just click on that. This black screen right here will be filled with ABC coverage. Right here on the side, you can log on using Facebook and ask us questions, ask Dr. Leroy questions, and we will answer them for you throughout the night. So after the news on the television, you won't lose that live coverage. Down here, we also have a really exciting, it's called a Twitter map, and this is tweets happening all around Washington state having to do anything election. So really, it's a way to stay on top of what's happening with this election live right here. We really want you to log on with your Facebook page, ask us questions. This is going to be a really interactive way for you to have this election coverage for midterm elections, similar to what we did in 2008 with the presidential election. Back to you guys.
Yeah, Colleen, this is really an exciting thing for us. And she already kind of introduced Dr. Michael Leroy, who is the Vice President of Academic Affairs at Whitworth University. For you politicos, this is a really big night. What's exciting you about tonight?
Well, we love election night. We always love the chance to get out and vote, and also an end to the ads, right? So,
amen.
No, tonight what's fascinating me is the exit polls are indicating that men and women are voting differently. We know that there's a growing gender gap, but it's a fascinating trend to watch, and we're seeing in the early exit polls, especially in the Northeast, that women are voting quite differently from men, trending Democratic. We also have seen some things. The West Virginia Senate race is right now looks like it's in Democratic hands. So we may not see the bloodbath that we thought, but it's still very early and it's hard to tell.
Because the anti-incumbency feeling throughout the country has been so strong. People talk about change and they're tired of the way things are going. But we have seen Republicans taking a pretty good lead so far.
Yes, yes. In states like Indiana and
Kentucky.
states in Kentucky and in Florida. We've seen Republican victories there at this point, and pretty decisive ones. And so we'll watch. Those weren't totally unexpected, but they're interesting races to watch.
All right, we're going to be talking to you throughout this newscast and throughout the evening, and we're so glad you're going to be with us on the web. That is just huge for us. So want you to stick around.
All right, great.
Thanks, Dr. Leroy. Dave?
Robyn, 37 states are electing governors tonight. That's the most in history. Idaho voters will choose between incumbent Butch Otter and first-time challenger Democrat Keith Allred. Governor Otter held a huge lead in the polls initially, but Allred closed the gap slightly in recent weeks. Historically, the party holding the White House loses about 5 governorships in the midterm election. For a lot of voters here in Washington today, it doesn't really feel like Election Day. A lot of people cast their votes weeks ago. Yeah,
Washington is one of a few states that have gone almost completely to vote by mail. There are a couple of polling places still in Pierce County. Elections officials say that switch has increased voter turnout and has reduced voter problems because ballots can be checked ahead of time. Critics, though, say the change takes the excitement out of Election Day. No longer do you go to the polls with your fellow voters and collect that red, white, and blue I voted sticker, which I